Oh, sorry about that. We are here. Okay, Hare Krishna. We are continuing to read from teachings of Queen Kunti. We are on prayer number 8. Kunti Maharani is saying, let all the calamities come again and again, because if the calamities come, means we are going to see you, and by seeing you, we no longer see repeated births and deaths. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 25. So we have been reading from the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and we continue reading. Kunti, however, is aware of birth and death, and she is anxious not to repeat this process. It is indicated by the words Apunar Bhava Darshanam. If one always sees Krishna, one is in Krishna consciousness. For Krishna consciousness means always thinking of Krishna. One's consciousness should be absorbed in Krishna's thought. So we all have consciousness. We living entities, we are conscious. We are conscious, eternally conscious. It's not that we are conscious here only in the material world. We are always conscious. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Now, what is our consciousness absorbed in? When the consciousness is always absorbed in material things, then we are materially conscious. But when our consciousness is absorbed in Krishna, always thinking about Krishna, then that is Krishna consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the spiritual master gives different varieties of engagements to devotees in Krishna consciousness. So that's the reason the spiritual master, the expert spiritual master, he knows how to guide the disciple so that the consciousness of the disciple is always absorbed in Krishna, always thinking about Krishna. For example, under the direction of the spiritual master, the devotees may sell books in Krishna consciousness. But if the devotees think that the energy invested in selling books should be diverted to selling jewelry, that is not a very good idea. Then they would become nothing more than jewelers. So the spiritual master is telling the disciples, you go and distribute this Krishna conscious books. So this activity is Krishna conscious, because he's putting his endeavor, his energy, his time, his resources, everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So it is a Krishna conscious activity. Now, if he engages his time, energy, money, resources, everything in selling jewelry, then that is not Krishna conscious. Then he's just being a jeweler, until and unless by whatever he is making by this endeavor, he is donating a part of it to the Krishna consciousness movement. Okay. So then we should be very much careful not to be diverted from Krishna consciousness. Even if there is danger or suffering in Krishna consciousness, we should tolerate it. We should even welcome such danger, and we should pray in appreciation to Krishna. So the idea is keep the mind absorbed and always thoughts of Krishna. Always think of me, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Always think of me, man mana bhava mad bhakto. Always think of me, become my devotee. He's saying that. And being absorbed in me, you will come to me without fail. He says that because right now we are in this material world, in an artificial atmosphere, as we were just hearing in Bhagavad Gita. The idea is to get out of here. And we heard the only way to get out is Krishna consciousness. How should we pray? Tattenu kampamsu samikshamanaha. My dear Lord, it is your great mercy that I have been put into this dangerous position. That is the viewpoint of a devotee. What does a devotee think? What a devotee on the level of Kunti Maharani? Such dangerous positions. One danger after another, trying to be burnt alive. Her sons are poisoned, so many terrible things. But what is she saying? My dear Lord, it is your great mercy that I've been put in this dangerous position. He does not regard danger as danger. Rather, he thinks it is Krishna's mercy. So this is a pure devotee whose mind is absorbed in Krishna. He's thinking that this danger is Krishna's mercy. What kind of mercy is it? Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Because of my past activities, I was meant to suffer very much. But you are mitigating that suffering and giving me only a little. In other words, by the grace of Krishna, a devotee may receive only token punishment. So the devotee is thinking, I would have suffered more. I've done so many past sinful activities in the past. And because of these sinful activities, I would have gotten much more suffering. But Krishna is very kind to me. He's just giving me a tiny token of the suffering. He's very merciful to me. He's just giving me this tiny bit. So what does that mean? It goes to show that a humility, a kind of a humility, not that, oh, I expect that expectation, oh, I expect the best, everything best should happen to me. Not that, what do you say, a devotee does not feel that he should have those, he's not entitled. A devotee is not entitled. That is what is the heart of a devotee. He's like, whatever, he's taking responsibility for his position. He's feeling grateful to the Lord for maintaining him. He's not feeling, no, oh, you should have given me more. Krishna, why are you not giving me more? I deserve more. So he's not entitled. In court, an important man is sometimes found to be a culprit, and the judge may be able to fine him $100,000 and know that the man can pay it. But he may tell the man, you just give me 1 cent. That is also punishment, but it is greatly minimized. Similarly, we have to suffer for our past deeds. That is a fact, and we cannot avoid it. Prabhupada is saying, whatever past deeds we have done, we are going to get the reactions of it. We are going to get reactions. That's the law of this material world. But karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Brahma Samhita 554. The sufferings of those who engage in devotional service and Krishna consciousness are minimized. So Brahmaji, what is he saying in his Brahma Samhita? In his song of adoration, his song of praise to the Supreme Lord. What is he saying? That one may, in his prayers to the Supreme Lord, he is saying that a devotee, even though he is suffering, but when he's engaged in Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness, then his suffering is very minimized. It becomes like a token suffering because his mind is absorbed in Krishna. He does not feel the suffering. He does not feel it. He doesn't care about it. His mind is totally absorbed in Krishna, and Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna is on the absolute platform. So thinking about Krishna means associating with Krishna. And so then Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. So the devotee is feeling pleasure. For example, one may have been destined to be killed, but instead of being killed with a knife, he may instead get some little cut on his finger. In this way, for those who engage in devotional service, the reactions of past activities are minimized. So Prabhupada is saying maybe the devotee could have been killed, but instead Krishna just gives him a tiny cut on the finger, and in this way, his reactions are being minimized. Lord Krishna assures his devotees, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami. I shall give you protection from the reactions of sinful life. Krishna says that to Arjuna, do not fear, I will save you from sinful reactions. It's Krishna's guarantee. So even if a devotee has a history of very grievous criminal activities behind him, instead of being killed, he may only get a little cut on his finger. Why then should a devotee fear danger? So a devotee may have been grievous crimes he may have committed, But as a token punishment, but now because he is completely Krishna conscious, Krishna may just give him a token punishment, just a token. We should simply depend on Krishna consciousness, because if we live Krishna consciously under all circumstances, we shall not return to this material world. Apunar bhava darshanam. So the proposal is depend on Krishna. Live in Krishna consciousness. If we repeatedly think of Krishna, see Krishna, read of Krishna, work for Krishna, and somehow or the other remain in Krishna consciousness, we benefit in such a way that we shall be saved from taking birth again in the material world. That is true benefit. That is the benefit of being Krishna consciousness, that we go back home, back to Godhead. Repeatedly think of Krishna, see Krishna, read of Krishna, work for Krishna. See Krishna. Then we'll say, oh, how do I see Krishna? I can't see him. Well, when we are seeing the deity, that is Krishna. When we are seeing the deity. And then when we are, reading of Krishna. So, but if we become a little comfortable because of other materialistic engagements and we forget Krishna and we have to take birth again, then what is our benefit? We should be very careful about this. We should act in such a way that a Krishna consciousness can, under no circumstances, be disturbed, even if there is heavy suffering. That is the instruction of Kunti Devi. So Kunti Maharani, she is saying, even when there is a lot of suffering, don't forget Krishna. Call out to Krishna, in fact. Call out to Krishna. Devotees use the adversities, the dangerous positions, the failures to get closer to Krishna, to call out to Krishna in more dependency, take deeper shelter of Krishna, using it as an opportunity to think more of Krishna from the heart, from like deep from the heart, calling out to Krishna. So devotees, that's how they take the dangerous position to call out to Krishna, even with more intensity. Any questions or comments? If no, then we will stop here for today. Kunti Maharani ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Hari Bol.